My family hired a lawyer to force me to swap my house for my sister's apartment because childless adults should sacrifice for those with kids, and my dad signed it. I, 30M, need to vent about something that's been eating at me for months now. My mother, 52F, has always had opinions about how I live my life. But lately, she's crossed into territory that has me questioning my sanity. For context, I'm a software engineer who's been fortunate in my career. 3 years ago, I bought a house in a nice neighborhood. Nothing extravagant, just a 4-bedroom colonial with a decent yard. I worked hard for it, saved aggressively, and was proud when I could finally afford it. My younger sister Emily, 26F, lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with her husband Ryan, 28M, and their 2 kids, Olivia, 4F, and Henry, 2M. The comments started innocently enough. Such a big house for just one person, Mom would say during visits. All those empty rooms going to waste. I'd laugh it off, explaining that I use one bedroom as an office, another as a gym, and I like having a guest room for when friends visit. She'd purse her lips, but drop it. Then Emily and Ryan started house hunting. With 2 kids, their apartment was getting cramped. Every family dinner became a discussion about their search, with Mom lamenting how expensive family homes were. It's such a shame, she'd say, looking pointedly at me, that young families can't afford the space they need while single people live in houses meant for children. I tried to be supportive of Emily's search, even offered to help with her down payment. But Mom brushed that aside. Money isn't the only way to help family, Michael, she said cryptically. The real campaign began about 2 months ago. Mom started sending me articles about minimalism, tiny homes, and the benefits of downsizing. She'd forward listings for studio apartments with messages like, "This would be perfect for your lifestyle." When I didn't respond enthusiastically, she escalated. "You know," she said during Sunday dinner last week, "in many cultures, family resources are shared based on need. Emily needs space for her growing family. You're just one person rattling around in that big house." I nearly choked on my pot roast. "Mom, are you seriously suggesting I should give Emily my house?" She didn't even blink. "Not give trade. Her apartment would be perfect for a bachelor. You'd have less maintenance, lower bills, and you'd be helping your sister's children have the childhood they deserve." Emily looked uncomfortable, but didn't disagree. Ryan suddenly became very interested in cutting Olivia's food. "I worked for years to buy my house," I said, trying to keep my voice level. "I'm not trading it for a 2-bedroom apartment." "Families should support each other," Mom replied. "When you have children of your own, you'll understand the sacrifices parents make." Emily and Ryan are sacrificing every day for their children. "What sacrifices are you making?" I pointed out that I'd offered financial help, that I babysit regularly, that I'm always there when they need me. But apparently none of that counts because I'm living in family housing as a single man. The drive home, I kept replaying the conversation. Am I being selfish? I don't think so. I bought my house fair and square. I maintain it well. I use all the space. Just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I should live in a shoebox. But Mom's guilt trips are getting to me. She keeps emphasizing how Emily's kids have to share a room. How there's no yard for them to play in, how Ryan works overtime just to afford their current place. Meanwhile, I have a home gym and a guest room that sits empty 350 days a year. I'm not giving up my house. I worked too hard for it, but I'm dreading every family interaction now because I know it'll come up. Mom has even started making comments in front of extended family, hoping social pressure will wear me down. Am I wrong here? Should single adults really prioritize growing families when it comes to housing? I feel like I'm being punished for being successful and childless. Update 1. 2 weeks later. Well, things have escalated in ways I never imagined. Thank you to everyone who responded to my original post. Your comments helped me realize I wasn't crazy for wanting to keep my own house. Last Sunday, I was enjoying a quiet morning when my doorbell rang. Emily stood there with Olivia and Henry, plus 2 large tote bags. "Mom said you were expecting us," she said, not quite meeting my eyes. I wasn't, but I let them in because, well, they're family. The kids immediately ran to the living room while Emily set down the bags. That's when I noticed they were full of toys. "What's going on, Em?" I asked. She fidgeted with her purse strap. "Mom thought it would be good for the kids to spend time here, you know, to play and explore." Red flags everywhere, but I tried to stay calm. "Explore what exactly?" "Just the house. Mom says it's important for them to have space to run around." The pieces clicked. This wasn't a casual visit. This was Mom's next move in her campaign. I watched as Olivia ran upstairs, yelling about picking her room. My stomach dropped. "Emily, did Mom tell the kids they're moving here?" Emily's face went red. "Not exactly. She just said they should think about which rooms they'd like if they lived in a big house someday." Someday being whenever I finally caved to the pressure. I found Olivia in my office spreading her dolls across my desk. "This will be my princess room," she announced. Henry was in the gym, fascinated by the exercise equipment he definitely shouldn't be touching. "Emily, we need to talk," I said, ushering the kids back downstairs with promises of juice boxes. Once they were settled with a cartoon, I confronted my sister. "This isn't okay. You can't let Mom use your kids as emotional manipulation." "It's not manipulation," Emily said defensively. "They deserve a house like this. Do you know how hard it is to raise 2 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment?" Olivia asks why she can't have her own room like her friends. "Henry needs outdoor space to run around. You have all this and it's just you." "It's mine," I said firmly. "I bought it. I pay for it. I maintain it. Being single doesn't mean I deserve less." "Must be nice," she muttered. "Some of us have responsibilities." That stung. "I offered to help with your down payment. You refused because Mom said." She trailed off. "Mom said what?" Emily sighed. She said accepting money would just enable the unfair situation, that the real solution was already obvious. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Hope the kids are enjoying their visit. Patricia from my book club is a realtor. She'd be happy to evaluate both properties to make the transition smooth. I showed Emily the text. Her face paled. I didn't know she was planning that. Really? Because you seemed pretty prepared with the toy bags and the room picking game. We argued for another hour. Emily insisted she just wanted what was best for her kids. I maintained that didn't include taking my house. She accused me of being selfish. I accused her of being entitled. The kids, oblivious, had spread toys throughout my living room and were pretending the couch was a pirate ship. By the time they left, I was exhausted. Emily gathered the toys reluctantly while Olivia cried about leaving her princess room. The guilt was suffocating, but I held firm. That evening, Mom called. Patricia says she can come by Tuesday to start the evaluation process. No, I said flatly. There's no process. I'm not trading houses with Emily. Michael, be reasonable. The children have a home. If Emily and Ryan need a bigger place, they can save for one like everyone else. Not everyone has your advantages, Mom said coldly. Some people have children to support. Some people make sacrifices for family, and some people respect boundaries, I shot back. She hung up on me. I've since installed a security camera. Paranoid maybe, but I wouldn't put it past Mom to give Patricia a tour while I'm at work. I've also had to block Mom's number temporarily because she was sending me photos of the kids in their cramped apartment every few hours. Emily texted an apology of sorts, saying she didn't mean for things to go that far. But she also mentioned that Olivia keeps asking when they're moving to Uncle Mike's house. So, the damage is done. I'm holding my ground, but the family pressure is intensifying. Mom has now involved my aunts who are sending messages about family values and thinking of the children. My dad, typically neutral, just says I should work it out with your mother. I love my family, but I'm not giving up my house. The guilt is eating at me, though. Those kids deserve a nice home, but not at the expense of mine, right? Update 2, 6 weeks later. I thought things couldn't get worse after my last update. I was wrong. The family pressure has intensified to levels I never thought possible. It started with the coincidental visits. My Aunt Barbara would drop by with cookies and casually mention how her friend's son gave up his condo to help his brother's family. My cousin Jennifer called to chat about her new place, then smoothly transitioned into how family-oriented people naturally want to share resources. Then came the ambush dinner.
Hey guys, real quick, I hope you're enjoying the story. Don't forget to subscribe, it would really help the page. Thanks for supporting.
Mom invited me over for what I thought was a peace offering. I should have known better when I saw extra cars in the driveway. Inside were Emily, Ryan, my aunts Barbara and Susan, and surprise, Patricia, the realtor, who Mom introduced as a family friend who happened to stop by. The dining table was covered not with food, but with property documents. We thought it would be helpful to see the numbers, Mom announced, as if this was perfectly normal dinner conversation. Patricia had prepared a comprehensive comparison of my house versus Emily's apartment, complete with square footage analysis and market valuations. The value differential could be managed through a structured family agreement, Patricia explained, sliding papers toward me. Your mother has some creative solutions. Those creative solutions included me taking over Emily's apartment payments while she and Ryan assumed my mortgage, with the difference being considered my investment in the family's future. They'd even calculated how much I'd save on utilities in a smaller space. This is insane, I said, standing up. I'm not discussing this. Michael, sit down, Mom commanded. We're having a family meeting. No, you're trying to steal my house with paperwork and peer pressure. Emily's eyes filled with tears. Steal? I'm your sister. I just want my kids to have a good life. Then work for it like I did. I snapped, my patience finally gone. Ryan, who'd been silent, finally spoke up. We do work. We both work full-time. But with daycare costs and expenses, saving for a house could take 10 more years. Your mom's plan would help everyone. Everyone except me, I pointed out. Mom pulled out her final weapon, a photo album. Pictures of Emily and me as kids playing in our childhood home's backyard. Remember how happy you were having space to play? Don't Olivia and Henry deserve those same memories? They can make memories in their own home, I said, heading for the door. You're being selfish, Aunt Barbara called after me. Family means sacrifice. No, I turned back. Family means respect, and none of you are respecting my decision. I left to a chorus of disappointment and Emily's tears. The next day, Mom started her social media campaign. Nothing direct, just posts about the importance of family support and articles about multi-generational wealth sharing. Her friends commented things like, some people understand family values and children should come first. Emily posted a photo of Olivia and Henry playing in their cramped shared room with a caption, making the best of what we have, 2 hearts. The comments from family members were clearly aimed at me. I had to mute most of my family on social media. Then came the flying monkeys. Family friends I hadn't heard from in years suddenly reaching out to catch up before mentioning they heard about the situation. The worst part, I started doubting myself. Maybe I was being selfish. Maybe a good brother would sacrifice his comfort for his sister's family. The guilt was consuming me. I decided to see a therapist. Dr. Martinez helped me understand that I wasn't crazy. Your house isn't just property, she explained. It represents your achievements, your hard work, your autonomy. Your family is trying to guilt you into giving up more than just real estate. She was right. This wasn't about square footage. It was about Mom's belief that my life choices were less valid than Emily's. That being child-free meant I deserved less. That my success was something to be redistributed rather than celebrated. I wrote a family email making my position clear. I would not be trading houses. I would no longer discuss the topic. Any future attempts to pressure me would result in limited contact. I offered again to help Emily with a down payment. No strings attached. Mom responded with a single line. I'm disappointed in the man you've become. Emily didn't respond at all. Ryan texted privately to say he understood and had never been fully comfortable with the plan. But Emily was desperate and Mom was persuasive. The family divide was official. Team Emily, Mom, aunts, various cousins versus Team Mike, me, and surprisingly my dad, who finally spoke up to say the whole thing had gotten out of hand. I installed more security cameras after Mom mentioned she still had a spare key from when I first bought the house. I changed the locks and got a video doorbell. Maybe excessive, but her Patricia could evaluate while you're at work comment haunted me. Work became my refuge. Home felt tainted by the constant reminders of what my family thought I should sacrifice. The guest room I'd once enjoyed now felt like an accusation. The gym seemed indulgent. Even my office felt like wasted space that could house a child. But I pushed through. This was my house. Bought with my money, maintained with my effort. I refused to let guilt make me give it up. Things went quiet for a few weeks. I hoped the storm had passed. I should have known Mom was just regrouping. The next update will explain how she went nuclear. Final update 4 months later. I've debated whether to write this final update for weeks. Part of me still can't believe it happened, but I think others need to know how far some families will go when they believe they're entitled to your success. After my email, there was radio silence for about a month. No guilt trips, no surprise visits, no flying monkeys. I started to relax, thinking they'd finally accepted my decision. I even reached out to Emily about having the kids over for a movie night, trying to salvage our relationship. She declined politely but coldly. Then on a Tuesday afternoon, I received an email from a law firm. The subject line, Proposed Family Property Agreement, Mitchell Family. My hand shook as I opened it. It was a formal legal document professionally drafted outlining a family property optimization plan. In essence, it was a contract for me to transfer my house title to Emily and Ryan in exchange for assuming their apartment lease with various conditions and payment structures to ensure fairness. But that wasn't the shocking part. The document was signed by my mother, Emily Ryan, and this is what broke me, my father. According to the cover letter, the family had collectively agreed this was the best solution and had pulled resources to have it professionally drafted. They presented it as a done deal, just needing my signature to proceed. I called my dad immediately. How could you? Was all I managed. He sighed heavily. Your mother, she's been relentless. The whole family is in chaos. Emily cries every day about the kids. Your mom hasn't been sleeping. I just thought if we made it official with legal protections for everyone. You thought I'd cave if you ganged up on me with lawyers. It's not ganging up. It's trying to find a solution that works for everyone. Everyone except me. You'd have the apartment. I hung up. I couldn't believe my father, who'd been my only ally, had betrayed me. The document included a deadline. I had 2 weeks to sign or they would pursue other options. I had no idea what that meant, but I immediately called my own lawyer. Jessica, my attorney, reviewed the document with barely concealed shock. This is unusual. They're essentially trying to guilt you into a property transfer with legal window dressing. None of this would hold up if you don't sign willingly. What about the other options they mentioned? She frowned. Empty threat probably. Though they could try to make a case for undue influence when you bought the property, claim you promised to help family or argue some kind of constructive trust. It would be nonsense, but they could make your life difficult. That's exactly what they did. When I formally declined through my lawyer, Mom escalated beyond anything I imagined. She started calling my employer, telling HR I was having a family crisis and might need support. She contacted my homeowners association with concerns about whether I was maintaining the property properly given the family situation. But the worst part was what she did to my reputation in our extended family and community. She started telling everyone I had promised to help Emily when I bought the house that I'd said it was for the family's future and was now breaking my word. She painted me as a cruel uncle who wanted his niece and nephew to suffer in poverty while he lived in luxury. The narrative spread like wildfire. I started getting messages from high school friends asking if I was really evicting my sister. Church members my parents knew would see me at the grocery store and turn away. Someone even left a note on my car calling me heartless. Emily, whether prompted by Mom or genuinely believing it, posted on social media about teaching her kids that sometimes people we love disappoint us, but we still love them anyway. The comment section turned into a public roasting of my character. I had to hire a PR consultant. Yes, it came to that. She helped me craft a simple statement. Family matters should remain private. I love my sister and her children and have offered financial support for their housing needs. I will not be discussing this matter further. Mom responded by showing up at my house with Patricia, the realtor and a locksmith, claiming she had the right to inspect family property. I had to call the police. The image of officers explaining to my mother that she couldn't break into my house will haunt me forever. The restraining order was the hardest document I've ever filed. But after the locksmith incident and several late-night attempts to enter with her old key, my lawyer insisted. The judge granted a temporary order after seeing the security footage and the harassment documentation. Emily and Ryan filed their own response to my restraining order against Mom, claiming I was isolating a grandmother from her grandchildren by preventing Mom from facilitating family visits at my house. It was thrown out, but the accusation stung. The family imploded. My aunts chose sides. Cousins I'd grown up with blocked me on social media. Holiday plans disintegrated. My dad moved in with his brother after Mom demanded he choose a side officially. Then 3 weeks ago, I got a call from Ryan. He was crying. This has gone too far. Emily's obsessed. Your mom feeds her poison every day about how you're stealing her children's future. She talks about your house constantly. The kids are confused and upset. I can't do this anymore. He admitted he'd never wanted my house, but felt trapped between his wife and her mother. He was considering separation if Emily didn't agree to therapy and dropping the house issue. That was my breaking point. I reached out to Emily directly, offering to pay for family counseling and a substantial down payment on a house. Not mine, but any house they chose. The only condition was that Mom couldn't be involved in the process. Emily accused me of trying to buy her silence and destroy her relationship with her mother. She claimed I was jealous of her family and trying to isolate her. The conversation ended with her screaming that I was dead to her until I did the right thing. So, here I am. I still have my house, but I've lost my family. Mom continues her campaign now, including protests with her book club friends outside my workplace. Emily refuses to speak to me except through lawyers. Dad calls occasionally, broken and apologetic, but unable to stand up to Mom. Ryan filed for separation and is staying with his parents. The kids are the real victims. Olivia asked Ryan why Uncle Mike doesn't love them anymore. Henry has developed anxiety issues. Their parents' marriage is ending. Their family is fractured and their grandmother fills their heads with poison about unfairness and selfishness. I've started therapy twice a week. Dr. Martinez says, I'm grieving the family I thought I had versus the family I actually have. She's right. I always knew Mom favored Emily, but I never thought it would lead to this. I never thought my success would be seen as something to be redistributed rather than celebrated. The house feels different now. Every room carries the weight of what it cost me. But I remind myself that I didn't cause this. I simply refused to be bullied into giving up what I'd earned. The fact that my family chose greed and entitlement over love and respect says everything about them, not me. I'm slowly building a chosen family of friends who support me. I'm dating someone who's appalled by what my family did and steadfastly reminds me I did nothing wrong. I'm considering moving, not to a smaller place, but maybe across the country, somewhere I can heal without constant reminders. To anyone facing similar pressure, stand your ground. You are not obligated to sacrifice your achievements for anyone, family or not. You are not selfish for keeping what you've earned. You are not responsible for others' life choices or financial situations. And you are definitely not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. My story doesn't have a happy ending, but it has a truthful one. Sometimes doing the right thing costs everything. But living with resentment, being bullied into submission, letting others steal your dreams, that costs even more. I still hope that someday when the dust settles and Mom's influence wanes, Emily and I can rebuild. That the kids can know their uncle again, that Dad finds his backbone. But I'm not holding my breath for now. I'm focusing on healing and building a life free from manipulation and guilt. Thank you to everyone who followed this journey and offered support. Your messages kept me sane when I doubted myself. Remember, your accomplishments are yours. Your space is yours. Your life is yours. Don't let anyone, not even family, convince you otherwise.